My maternal grandmother, Annabelle, passed away in October of 2017. I got to see her before she died. Even though her mind hummed with dementia, we held hands, joked, and swapped mottos like we always did. I said, "Butter makes everything better," and she said, "Every girl needs a good pair of red shoes." We laughed and exchanged our love. She was buried some weeks later. I didn't have a pair of red shoes to wear that day, and no amount of butter could have made any of it better. At the time, I was in my senior year of college, and the stress hung about me, a heavy cloak of smoke that numbed me down to all but my most necessary functions. I felt like a monster because I couldn't cry, for not wanting to feel. Nevertheless, I was able to squeeze out this poem for class. Bumblebee Brooch. I missed you some more on the day my parents renewed their vows. My mother, your daughter, wore a bumblebee brooch. Gold and set with colored jewels, the bee flexed its wings while it rested on her shoulder, glittering like some royal creature. Seeing it suddenly as my mother turned to me, I thought how touched you'd be to hear your daughter wore your old jewelry on her special day. I was ready to tell you. Like a sting, I remembered your absence then. I stumbled upon the hole you left, the walls of my punctured heart still dripping with the honey of my love for you, which can only waste, oozing and drying out with nobody to nourish, for it was only for you. I still bleed with it, each pulse pushing out painful drops I knew I had left, but didn't believe I could produce, like the tears I held back at your funeral. Looking from the brooch to my mother's eyes, I saw her happiness, but I know she thought of you when she put it on, and I know her heart bled too. Bittersweet honey for you, and only you, forever for you. I thought these words would be what brought me through. I thought they had carried me over my grief, but then I showed the poem to my mother. So what do you think of the poem I wrote?
I think it's beautiful, and I think it's very moving.
Thanks, Mom.
I like it.
Do you remember that pin that you wore? The bumblebee pin?
I do. It's called the Imperial Bee Pin, and I wish I could tell you it was Grandma's, but it wasn't. I bought it just a little bit before that from the Joan Rivers collection on QVC.
Joan Rivers?
Yeah.
It's not Grandma. You told me it was Grandma's.
No, I told you this was Grandma's. This was Grandma's wedding band, and I wore it that day because, as you recall, she was very sick in the hospital, and I wanted her to be a part of the ceremony.
Hmm.
So I wore her wedding band. That's really all I have of hers. I don't have any other jewelry from her.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter because I understood what you were saying, and the sentiment came through.
Thanks,
It doesn't matter what it was.
Thanks, Mom.
Welcome.
I love you.
Love you more.
I miss Grandma.
I do too.
Suddenly the words I had drawn about myself for solace and comfort vanished, like a colony searching for a new home. I thought I had processed my grief, but I then realized I had only covered it over with wax, like a pot of honey. The seal broke, and I was forced to probe the depths and rebuild. So I have this new poem. It was her ring. I miss you more now that I am free to feel, now that the smoke has lifted and I can breathe again. I awoke only to find my matriarch gone, the delicately structured comb our love built smashed in, the honey left still trickling down the debris, hardening, unused. I set some words to paper and walked away, thinking it was enough. They sat like an abandoned nest, but when I returned, knowing they looked different, almost useless. The brooch wasn't yours, but my words and my love still belong to you, and they always will. I have collected the feelings that scattered when the misconception was revealed. Together they amount to this: I miss you. There is a hole left in me where you departed, and like a lost drone I still produce honey with no queen to support. As I mourned, I looked for evidence of you like flowers at the beginning of winter. I found pictures and your handwriting in old cards. This one you gave to me at my high school graduation. It says, "Forget the red shoes. Here's a new motto from a very old song. Live, love, laugh, and be happy. I know you mean me to follow those words under any circumstances, though it feels impossible without you. But I'll tell you what, I'll do it for you. I will live, and love, and laugh, and I will cultivate fields of happiness. But I won't forget your loss, and I won't forget the shoes. It stung that I couldn't find a pair before your funeral. I wore all black instead, which left me feeling like the very void that hollowed my chest. But in the long run, it's okay. After all, it was no golden insect my mother wore in your memory, but a ring, powerful in its infinity and as endless as her love for you. I saw that love in action, her frequent visits in rotation with her sisters, her attention to your health and care, her devotion to your company and comfort as your life came full circle. Her love needed no token. She was the good daughter for you I only hope I could be for her. Still, the ring encircled her finger, a gesture relating a bond that could never be broken. I have inherited the strength of that bond, and I am sure I saw you safely through your journey. I wish I had seen you more, Grandma, but our love was real, and it still supports me as it does my mother, as I hope it did for you. And I want you to know that both our hearts still pulse with love, the sweetest honey, for you, always and forever.